personal life, a dancer and a performer, and then as a choreographer, I was drawn to improvisational performance because I got sick of my own choreography. I got really bored with the way I made a dance. And also, I did things in performance and in playing around in rehearsal that were, to me, more interesting choices about movement. So I felt like I was getting at some kind of knowledge that I could not access when I was directly trying to put my finger on it. So getting out of the way of my intuition, that's what I wanted to start working on and working with and sharing that with people, because I felt like that was my better dancing self. So I knew it would be all women. I've been reading about differences in the brains of people that are high testosterone and high estrogen, and those differences, how that sort of relates to how we treat each other. And that is always my big topic in dance, that I think I'm making a dance about something, but it's really always comes back to how do we treat each other and what do we do with each other in life. I don't think of set, I'm not a big tech kind of person, I'm really a contact-oriented, interactive body person, so I kind of think from small and then I go out rather than I have a big concept and go down in. I draw from the dancers a lot in rehearsal. Sometimes I'll bring in an improvisation structure and we will work that structure until I say, okay, that's it, we're going to set this. So we use improvisation to get to the choreography that we may or may not end up setting forever. And sometimes we create set material in rehearsal, like a set phrase, and then we will take that and start to improvise with it. And that may stay an improvisation through performance. So there will be elements of this piece that in performance will always be improvised, and some things that will be set. Nina Martin, who is one of the founding members of Lower Left Dance Collective, and the creator and steward and sort of facilitator of ensemble thinking, had taught at Sam Houston State, where I went to college. She came for a semester and taught. Ensemble thinking is a system or a toolkit for performing improvisational choreography with other people. And so it's a set of exercises and structures that help tune an ensemble into things like space and time and vocabulary and composition in the space right away. So they're very strict, rigorous, tight structures that limit vocabulary, that limit your choices, and we get really in tune with each other quickly. That high level of attunement to each other and what's being introduced in the space, what's composition architecturally in the space, that level of being able to read what's being danced, that's the highest one. Virtuosity, great. High technical level, bring it. But can you even stand still? Can you do nothing? I consider that a high virtuosic component of performance. A lot of times framing other things going on is super important so that we direct the audience's eye where we want it to be. They don't have to just sit and go, what is this? I'm going to watch this. I'm not going to watch that over there. I'm going to watch this. We should be in charge of that. So that's a very useful skill, is can we have a big eyeball that we can be multitasking, knowing, composing, reading, deciding, and see this from the outside so that we can say, oh, okay, I know what they're seeing. I know what they're looking at. They're looking at this. I think it's really important to just have practice time, have time without product. That's a big deal. I think time without product in rehearsal is very important, but eventually we get to the product and performance, and because we've logged these hours chemically with each other's bodies, and also content-wise, like I understand concepts like space, time, and movement the way you do, or we can at least have more of an agreement about that, we can work with that in performance. Absolutely, yes. Practice, practice, practice. And learn from it and talk about it, and that ends up feeding our performance.